leftover of chicken or cats. Now people have cats at home. Even though cat is not a halal animal, you don't eat cat. So that's an exception. Cat as an exception. All the other animals in the Hanafi views which you don't eat, their saliva is not clean. Cat is an exception because in Islam, something which occurs commonly and there is no way to be saved from it, then usually there is an ease on the matter. If you remember when we were talking about water before, we said if there is a lake full of salt, full of mud, full of leaves and stems, things you can't control, the wind blows and it brings leaves, they don't affect the purity of the water. Why did we say that? Because there is no way of saving yourself from it. Now the cats and chicken, they roam around in people's houses. Here maybe not so much, but in general, people who live in farms or villages, or those have a lot of cats, there's not much you can do. If you have a pond outside, if you have a swimming pool outside, or if you have a open water container, you can't run after your cat all the time. So in regards to chicken and cats, the rulings of Hanafis, they say if they are in captivity or if they are at home, they don't roam around freely in the area and they stay in the house, then and they eat what they've been given to eat. You know what they have eaten, right? So that cat drinking from water, the water is clean. Or same with the chicken. Those you give him, clean food, you give him fish, food that you know, and that food is clean food, then if that cat, even if it drinks straight away while eating, drinks from water, that water is clean. Why would that water not be clean when you know then that cat hasn't eaten anything which may make its mouth najas, filth? In theory, the reason being, because the meat of cat is not halal, so the saliva shouldn't be halal, right? And that's the ruling of Hanafis. Anything which is the meat is halal, the saliva should be halal. But for the cats, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, there are plenty of hadith where there are loads of hadith on the subject. There's one hadith which says أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كان يصغي للهرة الإناء فتشرب منه ثم يتوضأ به أو بفضلها. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam would put the container in front of the cat would drink from it, and then Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam would do wudu from it. And there is a hadith very famous in the subject from Abu Qatada. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in the hadith said, إِنَّهَا مِن طَوَّافِينَ عَلَيْكُمْ. That the cat, that's an authentic narration, that it roams around your houses, so it doesn't matter if it drinks from your water. So we know in the case of cat there is an exception. But if you look at the rulings of Hanafis, then if you don't eat the meat, the saliva is impure. But cat, we have exception. If that's only Hanafi view, they say if a cat was roaming around the streets and you don't know what it eats, and there is a possibility it has just eaten a rat or a mouse and then come in and drink the water straight away. So they say in that case where you don't know, it is wise to not, or it is disliked to use that water. Or if you have chicken which roam around the area where you don't know it may be pecking on something najas, then it is disliked. But in general case, where you know that this cat had eaten a mouse, but then it had plenty of time to clean its mouth and swallow its saliva, then it's okay. Even if it drinks a little while later, you saw this cat eating a mouse half an hour ago, now he comes in and drinks from your water, that's fine. He's not carrying the mouse in his mouth. It's clean. But that's the only time it's disliked, if you weren't sure whether before drinking the water, if the cat just had eaten something najas. But this is just being very careful. Some ulama, they don't even consider that, because they say, how much policing can you do? But those cats which are wild cats, this is you got to be careful about. But those domestic cats which live in your houses and you feed them, and they hardly leave, or if they go out to your garden and you keep an eye, they can drink from your containers, doesn't matter.